I hate those.
You hate the pendulum squat? What's wrong with the pendulum squat?
If you want to know where your weaknesses are, get on something that's solely like body weight.
This thing will humble you. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
This is quad focus too, though. But you're trying to work your glutes a little bit more. But I love this exercise just because it does give you that back support too.
You've put me on here before. I hated it. I hated it. You know what I was thinking about? Like I lift 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I need it. I've done yoga, I've done Pilates, I've done all the things. For you, do you do anything else? Like, are you just here? Is it just weight focused?
Oh yeah, for me it's all weight focused stuff. I try to play, I herniated my disc like probably 10 years ago, and since then I haven't been able to be active or play basketball. I grew up playing basketball and football my whole life. But since then I have a hard time doing legs. My disc, if I start working out and doing legs, my discs start getting irritated and I get like impingements and I get sciatica down my leg. I still do them. I try to do them as much as I can, but it's like at certain times, like if I try to do legs right now, there's just no way I can do it. Yeah. So I kind of got to baby myself with legs, but mainly bodybuilding stuff.
Mainly? I can't, I mean, you see me. Today we wouldn't be able to because it's wet outside, but you'll catch me, I'm jumping rope, I'm doing box jumps, I like agility training. I like to incorporate those things in as well.
Yeah.
Because I just have this vision of not being athletic.
Yeah.
And that feeling of my mind wanting to do something, my body not being able to. And I've been there before, so my training consists of trying to keep at it. But if you don't use it, like,
you lose it.
We're grown, right? I'm not jumping. The average person isn't sprinting. They're not jumping. They have no reason to try to get off of the ground.
Yeah.
And when I stopped doing that, and when we were talking about building a body type, I couldn't do any of the agility stuff because it technically would take away from the form that I was trying to build.
Yeah.
And I realized the consistency that I have with being in the gym stems from many challenges. Like I was on a pistol squat kick for a while, right? You've seen the videos. I'd be like, okay, I want to be able to do a pistol squat.
You do a pistol squat?
No, not right now. Not at this moment. No, because my legs are shook.
Yeah.
My legs are shook, but I will get hyper-fixated on certain things. Headstand, can do it. Split, like I'll pick something.
I've seen you jump rope. I know you can jump rope really well.
Yeah, I watched boxing videos. I can see something and I can pretty much pick it up, but I'll deep dive into like researching it. When Tyson, the way that Mike Tyson used to do his rope work,
yeah, that's crazy,
was insane.
Yeah.
So I saw, look, I know we say we shouldn't compare ourselves to people online, but I did it, and I would get annoyed by I mean, I'm in the same category of being like one of the sexier, content creators. But I would get annoyed at some of the like slow motion jump rope videos or just like unathletic things. So I was like, man, I get the understanding of why someone would want to jump rope, but what does that look like doing it well?
Yeah.
So I would watch jump rope videos, I would practice, and then next thing you know, I could do crosses and do all of that. But I need those challenges in between this stuff. Yeah. So
I can see that. Sometimes we'll see you in here, and all of a sudden I'll see you outside on a sunny day, and you're out there like box jumping, hitting the ladder, doing the ropes, like you're all over the place. So,
I love it.
Yeah, I mean that's just who you are. That's your thing. I know that's like your thing, like being active and being. Yeah. I think you really like being like somebody who can do multiple things, play basketball, golf, and so on and so on. I feel like that's how you are, not just with fitness stuff, with stuff in general. I think you're all about being multifaceted, multi-talented, right?
Because when I was growing up, there weren't people that could do it all. And the famous saying was, a jack of all trades is a master of none. But they forgot the second part of it, which is oftentimes better than a master of one, right? Okay. So I can do everything, but I do it well.
Yeah.
And I believe that there's so many people that sleep on their own talents because it may not fit their niche, or somebody else around them is trying to make it like, nah, don't focus on that. Why not? If you can go shoot a 3-point shot, hit a golf ball,
why not?
Paint, sing, whatever it is, if you can do these things, like why not be celebrated for the fact that you have that talent? So yes, my ass be over here just doing unnecessary.
So you're gonna do some lunges for us now, or what?
No, so back to like the athletic training, one of the things that I like to do specifically with this machine is like jump squats. So when I was in college, jump squats, you know, just any of that upward momentum, it helps build power, it shapes the body, it definitely builds everything on the lower half. But for golf, what it does for me is just it increases that strength and that power. I like the fact that golf gives me this fix of being strong and soft at the same time, because you really can't just be out there trying to kill everything.
Nah, I've tried that. I suck at doing that. You ever watch me hit it? I'm stiff. I'm over here trying to hit this golf ball, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you that big man right there, you can't hit a golf ball. I know you can't hit a golf ball for sure. Like, big guys like that, us big guys, we can't hit golf balls. Like, I'm telling you, like, physically, it is really, really hard. Like, you can be good at golfing if you're a bigger guy, but to be really good, it's very hard if you're a bigger guy.
Range of motion, you gotta have flexibility, all that other stuff. But, you know, one benefit of strength training when it comes to anything athletic is like you have more power. And so I'll do like regular, just some squats to start off, and then I'll incorporate some jump squats to see what I'm feeling. And then ideally is to be able to knock out like 10 jump squats with the 45s on. So, but
All right, let's get after it. Let's see what you got. I'm glad you're doing these and not me.
And then after what we've been doing, so before I start, what is one thing that you want to be able to accomplish with your platform?
Honestly, I feel like just making the lab like a bigger thing, because the bigger the lab gets, I feel like the more people I'm able to help out, right? More people see like fitness isn't just going to 24-hour fitness or fitness 19 and having to fight over parking and having to go into a bathroom that's not clean. And, you know, all the stuff that comes with that, you know, a gym that's super packed. I feel like there's a whole different, you know, just like a whole different thing when it comes to fitness. Like, I feel like people could come in and actually enjoy working out. And right now, I feel like a lot of people go to the gym and they just have to like, oh, I got to go to the gym today.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, I get to go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the bigger, you know, my platform gets, the bigger the gym gets, the more gyms I can open. Because I want to open 5, 6, 7 of these things, right? And I want people that I see in here every single day that are super happy and love the gym, you know, like yourself, right? To be able to experience that. And I think that that's my biggest thing right now. I feel like that's my calling is, you know, building something like a Christian Guzman, like a Bradley Martin, like those guys. Build something so that everybody else can use it, appreciate it, and understand like, hey, what fitness is supposed to be fun, fitness is supposed to be cool.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to have a network with it, right? Things like that. So that's where I'm at right now with it.
You could easily do you could definitely knock out some jump squats.
I'm telling you, I can't. I can't. There's no way. My back cannot do that. So funny thing is, the 49ers actually reached out to me for this machine.
Because this is,
They literally reached out and were like, hey, we want this machine. What do we have to do to give it to you? And I said, if y'all would have won the Super Bowl, I would have gave it to you.
Let's
but, I don't even want to get in that. But listen.
let's not do that.
I literally told them, I said, if you would have won the Super Bowl, I would have gave it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they asked. I mean, this machine it's a nice piece.
Yeah.
For sure.
I used to train on Supercat. So down, push, right? So your equipment reminds me a lot of what you use for training, right? Like, yeah, if I go low and slow, you see what we're hitting. You incorporate jumps into there. Now it's athletic training. Yeah. You just went from Zeke to athletic in one move.
The combination of both.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Are you staying here, or are you going up?
No. I would stay here.
Okay, good.
Because, so another goal that I have is cardio. We all know one of the hardest things to do is to talk and work out. I make it look easy. But yeah, it's like, you know who has the best training for that? Singers and dancers. And if you are working out, right, isn't it, if you can't talk while you're working out or running, like you're not going hard enough?
Yeah, for sure.
So jump squats, incorporating that in. I feel like too, anything that's like more athletic does slim my body out faster. Genetically, did get lucky. I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't get really blessed with my genetics with that, because I can work out and build strength pretty quickly, can lean out really quickly, but now that I'm okay with getting on the leaner side, doing more of the athletic movements gets my body where it's supposed to. So it would be today, one more set of these, then it's core and stretching.
So my next question for you is, do you feel like, growing up, like obviously your body's changed a lot, but when you got into modeling, because that was one of the first things you did is modeling, right?
Yeah.
So when you were modeling, was like the look totally different from the look now? Like, right, I feel like the look changes.
Yeah.
And you feel like there's pressure for you to look a certain way, right? Because you are doing the modeling, and that is part of your brand, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we're being honest, like part of your brand is looking a certain way.
Absolutely.
Right? I feel like for a trainer or for anybody in the fitness industry, I think part of your brand is looking a certain way, right?
100%.
So how do you feel like, your body was when you were doing the modeling early on, how it's changed, and how you're trying to like incorporate with what they want now?
Yeah, one of the things that I did from the beginning, I used to track all of my workouts. So I know what my body looked like in the workouts I was doing almost at every stage of my body. Granted, I haven't physically changed too much since when I started. When I was in college, I was definitely more muscular because I played softball and volleyball, and I leaned out. So I'm 5'9", I'm about 147 today. I got down to 120 something and still was told I was too athletic.
Yeah.
The body type now is all inclusive. You know what I mean? Like if you have the face, if you have the personality, if you have the walk, like you can easily get into any door. That was not the case when I started. I went to go-sees, I did runway, I've done the castings, I was signed to an agency, and I was told I was too curvy. And in my mind,
Max in the magazine. I heard you did Max in the magazine. What was it? You were like one of the top 10 hometown hotties or something like that?
I was named one of the top 10 hottest girls in America.
Oh, that's crazy. That's wild.
But the judges actually told me the reason why I was able to get into the top 10 was my submission video, and they remembered it because of my personality.
Okay.
So yes, looking a certain way will get you so far, and back to the modeling, like it's a completely different game. Models have to have, to a certain extent, the most famous ones have a personality. They have a brand. They have something. And there are other models that have nothing and they get their work, but they're not who we know of. The body type change. Do I feel like I might be still programmed to think that a certain look is what it should look like? Yes. And if I wanted to, say, get back on a runway, that would change my training, 100%. I would want to feel and look a certain way for me because I know in my mind what it's supposed to look like and what I could look like. We'll go back to like when I was thicker, wasn't feeling sexy, but other people told me I was, but there was no way you were going to catch me on a runway with that.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody else says is acceptable.
Yeah.
So if I was to be able to start modeling now, it would be a different game. I would and still try to train for the look that I feel like I would want to be at. And it's tough, but I like the lifestyle.
What do you think as far as like food-wise? What are you doing food-wise? Are you like, because I think this is the biggest thing is like, obviously food's the most important on how your body's going to look.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like a lot of women, I feel like they don't have the best relationship with food. Do you have any tips on that? Like what are some good tips to give somebody who is wanting to get into modeling or wants to get their body to the place, that is optimal or looks the best, right? What tip would you give them as far as food is concerned?
First, I'll figure out why you have a strange relationship with food. I grew up in a house full of bigger people, and we were taught to eat. I was told I was too small majority of my life. But my relationship with food now, and how it's always been, is I am, to a certain extent, like a nutritionist. Yes. The way that I look at food, I don't compromise on flavor anywhere. I also don't compromise on when I do want to go out to eat. I have a whole food page, and that's another thing. I literally created a whole account around food because I feel like we shouldn't have this messed up relationship that we do with it. Food is a cultural experience, it's a bonding experience with the people you're around. It's a way to satisfy yourself, and it's also a way to nourish your body. When I'm at home, I eat clean. I love it. But today I made a cheesy pizza bowl with cottage cheese, and I just like being creative with cooking. But you have to identify why you feel the way you do about food. My relationship with food may not be the same as the next woman's relationship. Some people have to get to the root of it in order to figure out why. If you don't like to eat because of the way it makes your body feel, then maybe it's a deeper issue than just aesthetics. If you tend to overeat, are you stressed out? If you don't eat, why is that? How do you find that balance with yourself would be the biggest advice that I could give. Because you go on Instagram, there's a million recipes. There's no reason why no one could. If you can't cook, that's on you. If you can't cook, then that's just a choice at this point. But if you really want to build a better relationship with food, you have to figure out why you even had an issue with it to begin with.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure because I know when I was training the 49er cheerleaders way back, a lot of the girls, they have to look good for Sunday, right? Like they cheer all week, and then they got to look really, really good on Sundays because they're being looked at by so many people.
Yeah.
So what they do is they crash diet. They eat really, really little bit amount of food, maybe Friday, Saturday, so that on Sunday they go out there and they look their best, right? So I feel like there's a big issue with food that they have, the relationship they have with food. And then it's hard after that. You start messing with your hormones, and if you don't have the best genetics, you can really mess up your body, and then all of a sudden you're putting on a bunch of weight,
It's trial and error, but it really just starts at your why.
Yeah.
And then you go from there.
Yep, I agree. You gotta have why, and I think that was the one thing getting into bodybuilding. You can easily be like, okay, I need to eat this, I need to eat that, and get kind of infatuated with eating a certain way.
Yeah.
And I see with a lot of bodybuilders, but me, if it's Saturday night and we're going to the movies, guess what? I'm eating.
Eat.
I'm eating. If
Enjoy
I'm going
life.
on a date, I'm enjoying life. Like, you have to also have like a happy medium. I think that was the one thing I would try to show a lot of people was, hey, you know what? I am a bodybuilder, but look, I'm still in Vegas. I'm still in San Diego. I'm still able to go out and eat, have fun, enjoy my life, and still compete and get a pro card and do really well at it. So I think there's got to be balance, right? I think a lot of people just get caught up in this, oh yeah, I'm just going to eat chicken and rice, and that's all I'm going to eat, and I'm going to make it really, really strict. And and if that's your thing, then that's your thing. But I think long term, it's going to be really hard to be happy and sustain it for a long time. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I love food. I'll eat bad food. I'll eat good food. It doesn't matter. But I just make sure, like, when I can be good, to make sure I'm eating good food.
Right.
And then when there's times, Christmas, Super Bowl, these little things that come up, parties, friends, that I'm able to eat and not, kind of hold that away from myself.
You mean be a person?
Exactly, right? I feel like not enough people are. So.